Eminem was that one rapper nobody in their right mind wanted to test, not even Will Smith. So, when Will stormed the Oscar stage in 2022 and slapped Chris Rock, the world was stunned. But the real question, would he have tried that with Eminem? Because, believe it or not, back in the early 2000s, something almost cracked off between them. And what followed is something Will probably still wishes never happened. Eminem wasn't just some wild white rapper chasing fame. He came straight out of Detroit's roughest blocks, a man who had stared down Suge Knight himself and walked away breathing. That's legendary. Long before the slap, before the Oscars even mattered, Will Smith was America's squeaky clean superstar, riding high in the late 90s. While Clinton sat in the White House and MTV called the shots, Will turned his goofy Fresh Prince charm into Hollywood dominance with smash hits, like Men in Black and Independence Day. And he did what no rapper before him had done. Multi-platinum sales with zero profanity, no scandals, just spotless success. His '97 solo debut, Big Willie Style, sold over 10 million worldwide, followed by Millennium in '99. Another monster that snagged him a Grammy. Will was living proof you didn't need to be violent to rule the charts, and he knew it. So when Will stood on the Grammy stage in February 2000 and declared, "I have never used profanity in my records," rap doesn't need to be filled with curses to succeed. The crowd cheered, but not everyone was clapping. In Detroit, something ugly was brewing. That same year, a 26-year-old Marshall Mathers, Eminem, had dropped the Slim Shady LP, a chaotic, bloody ride packed with twisted lyrics, pain, and rage. This wasn't hip-hop for the faint of heart. Slim Shady was raw, unfiltered, and dangerous everything Will wasn't. So when Eminem heard that clean rap comment, it hit different. To him, it wasn't just a statement. It was a shot aimed straight at rappers like him, the ones without sitcoms or movie deals, grinding their way to the top with nothing but bars and a dark past. These were the artists who had to pour every ounce of pain into their bars just to be noticed. Suge Knight once rolled in with a crew of Mexicans, and yeah, I was there with the homies. Eminem was there too, and trust me, he was ready to throw down. So in 2000, when Eminem dropped the real Slim Shady, he fired back hard. Right in the middle of that iconic beat, he spit. Will Smith don't got an S in his raps to sell records. Well, I do. So F him and F you too, savage. The track shook the whole game. Radio stations scrambled to censor it. Parents complained, but kids were chanting it in school halls like an anthem. That bar wasn't just a diss. It was a direct hit on the clean-cut, family-friendly version of rap that Will Smith had built. But this wasn't only about clean versus explicit. It was about power, respect, and who truly earned a spot at hip-hop's top table in the 2000s. While Will was flying first-class to movie sets, imposing for red carpets, Eminem was fighting to survive, dodging lawsuits, battling addiction, dealing with threats and getting censored on every front. And with that one vicious line, M sparked something darker. People whispered, was Will Smith actually scared of Eminem? If they met face to face, who'd back down? Hollywood painted M as a bleach-haired shock rapper who'd burn out fast. But in Detroit, the truth was different. He had real backing. His day one friend, Deshaun Proof Holton, wasn't just a buddy. Proof was a respected East Side battle rap legend and leader of D12, a crew with serious street weight. He wasn't just hyping M up, he was making sure he was safe and respected in rooms where fame meant nothing. Proof was Eminem's street armor, his guide through dangerous circles, and the reason he could walk out of them in one piece. In Detroit, being in the wrong spot with the wrong face could cost you everything or your life. Proof made sure Eminem was untouchable there. But M's reach didn't stop at city limits. In '98, Dr. Dre made the ultimate power play, signing Eminem to Aftermath Entertainment. That single move rewrote the game. Dre, already a legend from NWA and Death Row days, had just found his new weapon. With dress beats, business ties, and industry muscle, Eminem shot from a local firebrand to a national problem. Will Smith had no idea what Storm was building because, under EMS Wild, cartoonish image was a calculated, well-protected force. By 2000, M wasn't just rapping about trouble, he was living in it. That summer, he got arrested for pistol whipping the guy outside Hot Rock Sports Bar in Warren, Michigan. This wasn't some stage tough guy act. These were aerial life beefs spilling off the mic. Then in 2002, the empire expanded. A mixtape king from Queens, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, signed a joint deal with Shady Records and Dre's Aftermath. 50 had survived 9 gunshots, got dropped by Columbia, and was blackballed for being too dangerous. Now, with Dre's money and Intercope's firepower, they built a machine gun at Shady and Aftermath. A triangle of power that could end careers or protect their own with surgical precision. When Eminem spoke on a track, it wasn't just his voice. Behind him stood Dr. Dre, 50 Cent Proof, D12, Jimmy Iovine, plus a network of lawyers. street hitters, and industry shot callers. This wasn't just music anymore. It was war strategy, and Eminem's biggest test of fearlessness was about to step out of the shadows in the form of Suge Knight himself. Suge Knight was no ordinary rival. He had blood ties, a feared reputation, and the early 2000s music industry shook. Even top execs didn't want to share a room with him, but Eminem, he didn't blink. According to Compton's Own the Game, one night Sue and his crew rolled in uninvited. Lights low, air tense, muscle all around. People panicked. Some dipped out, others froze. But Eminem stood firm, ready to swing if it came to that. And 50 Cent, no stranger to street heat, was right there at his side. That moment said it all. Suga built his empire on fear. But here was this Detroit white boy who wasn't just talking tough. He had the guts, the crew, and the mindset to back it up. Here's what most fans never knew. Eminem's security wasn't just hired guards in black suits. Street whispers say M had deep ties to Samoan gangs in Los Angeles. This wasn't your average protection detail. This was a crew known as the Samoan Army, feared in South Central since the 90s. These guys were built like tanks, loyal to the bone and always ready to throw down. Whether M paid for their muscle or just earned their loyalty, the result was the same. He was untouchable in more ways than one. Meanwhile, Will Smith was in a totally different league by 2001, starring in blockbusters, hosting award shows, shaking hands with diplomats, and grinning for photos with presidents. His image polished to perfection by agents, publicists, and billion-dollar studios. So, when Eminem took shots at him on a track, Will stayed silent. And honestly, that was smart. By then, beefing with M wasn't just stepping into a rap battle. It was poking a machine powered by Dre's business smarts, Proof Street clout, and 50 Cent's rising empire. By this point, M wasn't just a rapper. He was a fortress with serious muscle behind him. Will Smith knew it too, because this was no longer about clever bars. It was about who had real power in their corner and who didn't. To the public, Will's Grammy speech sounded harmless. Just a clean-cut star promoting positivity in a genre accused of glorifying violence. The media ate it up. Parents loved it. But behind the scenes, the air was thick. Eminem wasn't smiling. Insiders from Intercope and Aftermath say M took that comment as a direct shot. This wasn't simply about clean lyrics. It was about control. The clash between two worlds of hip-hop. One polished for primetime TV, the other dragged out of the mud, raw and unapologetic. In EMS eyes, Will wasn't speaking for himself. He was speaking for the whole machine. Studio bosses, award show gatekeepers, late-night hosts, label execs, the same power players who didn't want someone like Eminem at their table. By mid-2000, M was feeling it from every direction. Watched, censored, and boxed in. The FCC and parental boards tore apart his bars. Videos got chopped to pieces. Talk shows demanded edits before he could perform. Lawsuits stacked up from his mom, his ex, and strangers who didn't like his lyrics. The pressure was real. So when Will dropped that no profanity line at the 2000 Grammys right as the Slim Shady LP was exploding, M took it as a setup. To him, Will was the safe, smiling, camera-ready figure sent to publicly undercut him without throwing a punch. And M answered the only way he knew, through bars. Just 3 months later, in May 2000, he unleashed the real Slim Shady, a sarcastic, explosive single from the Marshall Mathers LP, and right in the middle, that infamous line, "Will Smith don't got cuss in his raps to sell records. Well, I do. So F him and F you too." No metaphors, no hidden shots, just in-your-face heat. The whole world heard it. Radio scrambled to censor it. Schools banned it, but fans devoured it like candy. By June 2000, the real Slim Shady hit #1 in the UK and stormed the US charts at #5 on Billboard's Hot 100. MTV ran it non-stop, and Eminem's target was crystal clear. Meanwhile, Will Smith's Millennium, which had dropped just 6 months earlier in November '99, was already sliding down the charts. Even with solid sales and the single Will 2K, it couldn't touch the cultural wave M was riding. Then came the whispers. Word in the industry says that right after EMS track landed, there was a closed-door meeting either at Sony Music or Columbia Pictures. Will insiders claim was told to stand down. No diss tracks, no interviews, no response. One rumor points to Dr. Dre himself, who had strong Hollywood ties and allegedly gave the personal heads up. Leave it alone. Some say Themazage was polite. Others say it came with edge. But either way, the result was clear. Will Smith never uttered another word about Eminem. He pivoted fully into films. Ali in 2001, Men in Black 2 in 2002, Bad Boys 2 in 2003. His rap career faded into background noise while M kept swinging. The Marshall Mathers LP, released in May 2000, sold a jaw-dropping 1.76 million copies in its first week. a record that stood for over a decade. But under all the awards shows and flashing lights, the tension never died. At BET Awards, MTV Movie Awards, Grammy pre-parties, both men showed up but never spoke. No greetings, no eye contact. Fans and even body language experts noticed. No nods, no handshakes, nothing. Eminem, usually rolling with proof of 50 Cent, kept his space. Will, flanked by publicists or family, did the same. Hollywood insiders say event planners staggered their arrivals or seated them far apart just in case one word set off a chain reaction no one could control. Will might have still been the polished fan-favorite superstar and Eminem, the wild, foul-mouthed rebel, but by 2002, the power was shifting hard. Toward M, he wasn't just dropping hit records anymore. He was stepping into Hollywood. 8 Mile was on the way. The studios were chasing him, and behind him Dre, Jimmy, Yavin, and a surging 50 Cent formed an untouchable triangle. M wasn't just surviving, he was rewriting the rules. Will Smith, a master of the Hollywood game, knew better than to ignite a war he couldn't control. So, the silence stayed ice cold, stretching for years. Fans thought the drama had died, but the truth? It had just gone underground. That tension never really disappeared. It slipped into the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment. By the early 2000s, Eminem wasn't just the loud white rapper making headlines. He was moving like a commander, calculated, strategic, guarded. To the public, he was still the edgy entertainer. But in the streets and behind closed doors, people saw the truth. M was ready for real smoke. In 2003, whispers spread that underscore. Affiliated sets in South Central LA wanted Eminem to check in before stepping on their turf for filming or shows. And in the streets, a check-in ain't polite. It's a demand for respect. Most artists dodge it or send a middleman. But according to insiders, M made the calls, then showed up. Not scared, not hiding, and definitely not alone. Aftermath, sources say Eminem's real LA security didn't come from guys in suits and earpieces. It came from Dre's own circle, including a feared Samoan set rumored to be his low-key muscle. These were the same men who once guarded Death Row Records in Suga's Chaos years. They'd seen real street heat, and their loyalty to Dre extended directly to M. Back in Detroit, M had his own ground game. His right-hand man, Proof, frontman of D12, wasn't just a hype man. He handled threats, shut down shady situations, and made sure no one Duran got too close. Proof had the 313 on lock. The Shield, when things got messy. Out in New York, Eminem had locked in with 50 Cent already certified in the streets long before Get Rich or Die Try dropped in 2003. With 50 came a Southside Queens crew that had survived real shootouts. Together, they built a coast-to-coast alliance under shady aftermath. Insiders say Eminem personally funded parts of 50's early grind tours, promo, even the muscle moving with him. This wasn't just a record label, it was a street-backed empire. No official records, no contracts, no headlines, just power moving quietly. In a 2003 Hot 97 interview, 50 made it plain. Eminem believed in me when nobody else did. He didn't just rap with me, he protected me. After that, M stopped rolling solo. Whether it was an award show in LA, a wild party in Miami, or a media stop in Chicago, his movements were layered. Private security mixed with street-connected allies. M had seen what happened to Tupac. He knew fame plus street pressure without the right structure could be deadly. So he adapted, moving smarter, tighter. By 2004, Shady Records wasn't just a label, it was a fortress. That year, during a show in LA, word spread that a known West Coast gang had slipped backstage. Maybe they were testing him, maybe not, but witnesses say they left quietly after running into Dre's Samoan hitters and Detroit muscle flown in for that night. Eminem wasn't an easy target anymore. He had locked down solid alliances in 3 of hip-hop's toughest cities, Detroit, New York, and LA, and he moved like someone ready for real war, not just studio beef. Even his music reflected it. Tracks like White America Till I Collapse, and like Toy Ka Till I Collapse, and like Toy